dude, it's just so like they're just propagandizing. They're trying to make me look bad and shit. It's like they're just fucking liars, dude. The Hour of Devastation set was propaganda to make people believe that the MAS 580 April 1st, 2010 recording was the only lecture where harassment was going on. I wish I had recorded more lectures than I did, but I know that most people are smart enough to realize that harassment, as bad as what happened on April 1st, 2010, would obviously have had a lot of other harassment leading up to it. And that's something a lot of people like probably wonder about, like, why do I only have like so many recordings of it? But it's like I didn't predict the future. I didn't know. I was young, I was naive. You're kind of like desensitized to it when it's going on as well. And like I don't know. It's just like if you're green and you're young and like you don't get it, and like also like my family wasn't supportive. They were hella shitty to me. It's like I don't think I was at a place with myself where I was like smart enough to know how to always be supportive of myself no matter what, if that makes sense. And like it's hard to explain unless you've gone through something like that. It's like if you're green and you're naive, you're, well, same thing, but you know what I mean? If you're young, you're naive. If you are like desensitized to it, if you think like maybe you're internalizing it, like, oh, did I do something to cause this? And like your parents are shitty to you, they make you feel like that, and you don't really know what to do. It's like you might not record as many as you should. And like at this day and age, like at this age, after everything I've been through, like no matter what, like people are manipulative too. People try and make you think like you deserve it when you don't. People try and act like shit's other than it really is. And it's like, you know, I'm old enough and experienced enough now to like see through shit like that. And you know, like stand up for myself always, you know, but always make sure I'm like, you know, going the right way, but at the same time, like stand up for myself always and don't let other people's bullshit. Like I have a guy I work with now who's like, dude, he's always trying to like convince me I'm wrong. And I know he's so full of shit. And it's just like, I would never let that guy get to me because it's like I've just been through too much. It's like, I know he's not right. Just objectively, I know he's not right as well. Like he's just like, but he tries to, he's like manipulative, dude. Like people will do that. But I think people can tell that like from the April 1st recording, like how bad it was, like there would obviously be a lot of harassment that led up to that. It wouldn't just be like that. So I think people can tell that it was just like a mistake that I made and not like that was the only harassment. But they propagandized the gaming community by making it seem like the hour of devastation and whatever they wrote in the stupid story of, you know, some hour of whatever. But they were obviously trying to make it seem like the hour of devastation, the April 1st recording was like the only fucking, you know, harsh harassment, when that's just not true. Okay. Kefnet's last word. Okay, the artworks looks like a Birdman, which was about the cuckold rumors. Again, not true. I understand it sounds funny though. The flavor text was about the April 1st recording. Logic is what we study to prepare for the LSAT. The last word was really about the last comment I said before being suspended and trespassed. In his final moments, Birdman reached into the minds of those around him, desperate for the logic within the consuming chaos. Like, dude, it's so obviously propaganda. God, lands you control don't untap. I don't know. That doesn't seem good to me. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you gain control like their biggest creature, but still, it's like, that's so not great. Hour of Devastation. Although this card was about destroying a group, the propaganda here is that the dean of the MBA program could just decide who to wash out of the program. We're talking about the fucking, are we? Yeah, we're talking about the fucking flavor text. My bad. Sorry, I'm just thrown off by what I wrote right here. It's just like, I forgot to mention it here. Everything here exists or perishes at my whim, including you, Gatewatch. Which, again, it's like, I think it's about a group here, but like, it's like exists or perish at my, they're trying to like trivial, like, how would you say it? Like, bring levity to the fact that the deans like of graduate school at WSU, like, I mean, I saw with David Sprott, but like, you know, I think they do this is like they can like wash people out of programs like on their whim, just finding some way to get rid of them. Like I've heard about this outside of just me. Like and it's bullshit. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to do it. Like, it's just total corruption. If you're not breaking any rules, you're just going to school, minding your own business. They really have no right to discriminate against you. And of course, they have no right to discriminate against you. But of course, they have no right also to, like, give you bad grades, frame you, do whatever to get you out. It's like, it's just fucked up. They just need to learn to get along with whoever. If they decide to let you in, then you're in. And if you're not breaking any rules, they can go fuck off. Like, it's not really, they just need to learn to get along with their students. Like, if the students aren't breaking any rules, they just need to deal with it. But in my case, they like wanted me to get in there. Like, I also got into Western Washington University's MBA program, and of course I wish I went there. My life would be different. But I chose WSU because it's like I knew the school. It was, a bigger school, but I also knew the school. Like, I'd gone there for undergrad, so I knew like my way around. I didn't want to learn a whole new campus and everything. Like, and also I ended up, I knew some people still. So I ended up even later living with the same people I lived with, the same house I lived in the last year of school. Well, it was less than a year at the end of school, but because I graduated in December '08, but it was like less than a year. I'm trying to think. Wait, no, hold on. Yeah, no. Yeah, it was less than a year because I was in a dorm when I was 21. 22, I was in an apartment, and I graduated halfway through 23. Yeah, it was half a year I was in the house. And I went back there and lived there during graduate school. Okay, imaginary threats. I was framed for making a threat in MIS 580. The flavor text mentions Jace and Liliana, or me and Jazette. Notice how the name of the card doesn't really make sense with what it does. Liliana always knew Jace's illusions would come in handy. Imaginary threats, like the fucking threat I was framed for. Come on, dude. Strategic planning. Okay. The flavor text is propaganda about Jace, me, noticing that magic was remade by bribes from David Sprott. Notice how unnatural the statement in the flavor text is. Bolus remade this place in his image. He has the advantage here. We must approach carefully. It seems very unnatural. Like, oh, he remade this place in his image. Somebody walked by. He has the advantage here. We must approach carefully. It's just something about that just seems so unnatural to me. I don't know. It's just like it just seems like it stands out. It's like it's just kind of an unnatural thing for like Jace to say and for a character to say. Just it seems like they just had to include the Bolas remade this place in his image. Like, they wanted to talk about magic, so they kind of have to like sound unnatural sometimes, or they wanted to talk about, like magic being adjusted for propaganda and harassment towards me. So they kind of have to make things seem unnatural sometimes. Tragic lesson. There's Birdman. The Birdman is dead, which is reminiscent of the cuckold rumors. Again, stupid fucking rumors. The dying of me during graduate school happened during a lecture or lesson. The flavor text mentions last words, like my comment in MIS 580 on April 1st. Though Kefnet's followers feverishly searched his last words for some final moment or for some final riddle, they found only the gurgles of a dying god. It's like Birdman and fucking dead. Like, it's just so like... I don't know. Tragic lesson, just draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you return a land to its owner's hand. It's like it has nothing to do with fucking anything going on there. It's nothing to do with it. And it's like they just wanted to include this propaganda and harassment. Tragic lesson, like school and Birdman dead. Like, they're just wanting to include certain things. So here's like a split card, or whatever you would term this. They have like different terms for their shit, but split card, not a bad way to say it. But I believe a split card is like a specific type of card. This may or may not qualify for that category, but whatever, you know what I mean. Leave chance. Jews wandering through desert. Also about me leaving magic. Like, it's just, like Jews wandering through the desert. It looks quite like that, doesn't it? Highly suspect. Okay, appeal authority. Card name makes no sense with what the card does. This seems like propaganda about citations to authority in cases. That's like where they cite a certain law or a certain case where someone walking by. That citation of authority is when they cite a certain law or certain case, whatever, or they just cite law is a way to sum it up. That's a citation to authority to prove what they're saying and to prove that they're correct. The corrupt Pullman lawyer used no meaningful citation to authority in the WCU appeal. And it's like the card name makes no sense with what it does. Like, until end of turn, target creature gets trample and +X, where X is the number of creatures you control. And then it's like tap up to 2 target creatures your opponents control. Creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. I mean, it's kind of a good card, but I mean, the card name has nothing to do with like what it does, like appeal to authority or appeal authority. It has nothing to do with what it does, because they're actually, trying to squeeze in propaganda, and they end up, kind of going off the rails of the themes of the cards in the process. Refuse cooperate. Propaganda about me failing to comply at WCU. Notice that the card name has nothing to do with what it does. They were too busy squeezing in harassment and propaganda into cards to appropriately name cards. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's CMC. Or sorcery spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Like, refuse cooperate. Like, I mean, it like barely makes any sense. Like, okay, refuse, like, the spell's refusing to cooperate with you, like, but it does cooperate. It's just hitting you at the same time. But copy target instant or sorcery spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. So you could, I'm trying to think what you could do with that. Like, seems kind of stupid, but like, I don't know. I mean, 4 mana is what makes it like super bad, though. Like, it's just, I don't think that's good. You wouldn't want to like wait around with that in your hand. Like, it's just, and it's just, I don't know, the spell's refusing to cooperate with you. Like, it cooperates once this card's copying a target instant or sorcery spell, but it's like, it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense with what it does. Endless Sands. This set mentions a curse of wandering, like Jews wandering in desert, or me wandering through, things and not being able to achieve stuff. It looks like the propaganda is that I will wander forever, never finding a discrimination-free opportunity. The Jews wandered in the desert in the Bible. Like, just looks so suspect, Now these ones, okay, not sure about these ones, but they do seem to me to be suspect. And I mean, I think that they probably did have some propaganda. I think that they did. Like, I think they did, but it's the kind of thing, like, if you're on a mission of proving something, like, sometimes you need to make decisions on, like, even though it, like, it is what you're saying, like, sometimes you need to make decisions like, well, is this, like, in terms of proving, is it going to get through to the audience? Like, so you need to prove ones that prove your case without wasting the audience's time. Because there's other ones. There was ones like, what was it, like Nahiri, that like Boros Planeswalker, and then that same set, that shitty Sorin was printed. So they printed this really good one and then Sorin all shitty next to it. Because I used to post about being a vampire and like shit like that. So they made like a shitty ass Sorin, and then they made like a really good new Planeswalker, and it looked like a girl from Taylor Swift's Bad Blood video. Like, I mean, it didn't look like a specific one, but it was reminiscent of that ending of that video. And it's like, they were trying to like make me look like, and right when I started playing guitar again, they printed Tezzeret Master of Metal, which was a bad card. But I chose, I don't think I presented those in here, but I chose like some of them. It's like, I kind of knew that they were doing that, but it's like, it's not enough to really prove. But you have to make decisions like that. Like, I knew they were doing that, but like, is it going to make sense for a video when you're proving it? Because you need to just focus on what proves it. So these ones, not sure about, but it almost looks like the curse cycle of 5 cards in this set were a joke about how I get targeted, and everyone who attacks me is incentivized to attack me. I wish I could feel bad about how I get attacked, but everyone who attacks me has some massive ulterior motive that they cover up. Very true. So you got like, this guy is getting attacked in all of them. And Curse of Disturbance, like, I don't know. I was, convicted of, failing to comply, and it was not abuse of self or others. It was disruption and failure to comply. I was charged with all three, then only got those two. But like curse of disturbance, like I don't know, supposed to be like disturbing the dead, I guess, but still, it's like, come on. It's just seeing this guy like get targeted so much with the dumb look on his face, like just looks suspect to me. Like all these people looking at him as he's talking, like it almost seems like, you know, the MI it's 580 comment where I'm talking and like people are looking like dicks, like curse of vitality, like I don't know, just the guy being targeted, it just looks suspect to me. Okay, Hungry Lynx. It looks like they tried to make me look like a rat and Jawzette catching me, but I'm not a rat. I've never fucking snitched on anyone in my life. I had Pikachu in a cover on my Facebook cover. I had Pikachu in a picture on my Facebook cover, which is still up. Just a coincidence, though, because Pikachu is cool. I've never snitched in my life. False claims of snitching went towards T Grizzly and Hustler. Someone's walking by. And Hustler of mob figures. It's a common lie to hold down real people because people sometimes can't tell either way, which leads people to just randomly accuse people they want to stop. There's not only zero evidence of me snitching, but no one can even offer reason to believe that I've ever snitched on anyone for anything. They can't even explain the rumor. It's just a bullshit rumor. So they make it look like this cute cat, like catching a rat, and it's like, this is the kind of card that like Timmys are gonna like brew stuff with. Like it's just it's like a funny card. Timmy's like this stuff, but it's like something about it just looks so much like Jawzette catching a rat or something. It's like, dog, I never snitched on anybody in my life. That's why there's no evidence of me snitching, and no one can even explain how it would even be possible or what I would have done or whatever. I've never snitched on anybody in my life. I hate snitches. As much as anybody, I hate snitches more than most people. I hate snitches more than anyone. I'll go as far as to say, like, I'm a victim of fake snitching. Like, I've never snitched in my life, and I never would, and it's just a bullshit rumor based on absolutely nothing. And I'm a victim of fake snitching. I hate snitches, and I hate fake snitches, but I hate all snitches. And it's like, I've never done that, and I never would. And that's why there's no fucking reason to believe it, or even any evidence or anything. But there's not even like they can fucking explain it. Like, nobody even explains it. They just fucking like post like subliminals or innuendo. No one ever explains it because it's not real. They said the same thing about T Grizzly. They said the same thing about Hustler mob figures. They do this. They just say it about anybody as a false ass rumor because it's like it's hard to prove either way what actually happened. But they just make shit up. And like, I don't believe T Grizzly did. I don't believe Hustler did. I think in both those cases they're like, how'd they get out of time? And it's like, dog, are you a lawyer? Like, I'm surprised sometimes in both directions. Like, sometimes they get way too much time. Sometimes they get like, I don't think too little, but I just think they like, sometimes they get less time. Sometimes they get more time. And there's all sorts of complications, like your previous record. There's like weapon enhancements and different kinds of enhancements. There's all kinds of shit that goes on. And it's like a lot of people who are dumb as fuck, and most people don't even fucking believe in those two being snitches. They believe that they're real. But like a lot of people who are as dumb as fuck believe like, oh, well, maybe they did. It's like, dog, I didn't snitch on anybody. That's why there's no fucking evidence of it. And that's why no one even explains it in fucking regular words. Like, they just propaganda pictures. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, they're just saying fake ass shit about me, dude. Anyway, Path of Ancestry. Not sure about this one, but it looks like the end of Spartacus. Ancestry was a big part of the case against WCU in a way because race was why they divided. Race was like how they divided the program and targeted me. I looked on ancestry sites to help figure out what surnames were of what origin. It looks like WOTC was making image innuendo, calling me Spartacus, met with the same end for being real in the field. It's like they like crucify Spartacus on the right side actually, but they crucify him and I believe all of his dudes like along this road. So it's like everybody, God, I forget, it's been a long time since I saw that movie, but it's like so everybody going into Rome or wherever it was or from it or whatever, you see all the motherfuckers that tried, you know, to go against the system. Like all the motherfuckers were like crucified, like, and Spartacus was up there too. And that's why I was like, I'm Spartacus, because like all the motherfuckers like stood up for him and they all got fucking crucified. And it's like, it looks pretty suspect to me because it's like, oh, I'm on the path of ancestry. Now, if I'm recalling Spartacus, I haven't seen that in years, but it's like I remember he was crucified, I believe, on the right side. But it's like, if there's anything different about that movie from what I'm describing, I'm pretty sure I nailed it. But man, it's like I'm going off the top of my dome here, dog. Like, give me some credit. Okay, Axis of Mortality. The artwork has roses, one dead. I submitted the Black Lotus document to Student Conduct back in 2010. Lotus is not a rose, but you get it. The Church of Dusk was referring to the Dusk Till Dawn link I sent to Kelsey McBride. I believe different last name now. I believe she got married. The crimson was mentioned because crimson and gray are WC's colors. The drink reference was about the cuckold rumors. Again, not true. They just keep propagandizing about it because they want people to think it's true, but they got no fucking evidence. Someone's walking by. Let's read the flavor text. It says, the Church of Dusk teaches there is no gain without loss, no triumph without sacrifice, no drink of exquisite crimson without a dying gasp. It's like, I don't know, 6 mana to exchange life totals. I don't know. Timmy's might like it in EDH, but it just seems like 6 mana is a lot, dude. You should get a lot for 6 mana, and I feel like, that's just like kind of goofy. Jace, Cunning Castaway. Obviously meant to make me look like the main character in Castaway. I applied for law schools out of state on every one of the 22 applications. It also was implying that I did something to deserve the island shit, because in that movie, Tom Hanks had stolen a bike from a kid, and it made him not seem like the best dude, which the writer obviously put in there to make the audience feel better about his later predicament. This card also sucks. WOTC was trying to make me look bad. Like writers of movies often do that. They like demonize a character before something shitty happens to them to like make the audience not feel bad. And like the detail of him stealing a bike, it had no meaning in the movie other than that strategy writers will do of demonizing a character before something shitty happens to make the audience not feel bad. But like Jace, Cunning Castaway, hello, it's like Castaway. And it sucks. I mean, that card just sucks. I mean, it's terrible, dude. It's like for a planeswalker, like the +1, it shouldn't even involve discarding a card. But it's like you have to have a creature. The creature has to get through. It's like the fact that you then have to loot. You have to discard a card. Like you should just draw a card. It's so much. Like it's a planeswalker. Come on. It's like if your creature, you have to have a creature at the time, and it has to get through. Then you deserve your card, man. It's a planeswalker. It's supposed to do more than just that. It's just like, and the 2/2. It's just like all the abilities are stupid. Like you're mostly looking at the non-ultimates when you're looking at a planeswalker. I thought I saw one recently since I've quit that it had like an ultimate you could do right away. But usually we're talking you have to work to get to the ultimate. But it's like so you're usually looking at these, and like if these aren't good enough, it just sucks. That's the way it is. Star of Extinction. The Star of Extinction was about harassing me out of the game. Look at how suspect that card is. A star is massive. Someone behind me. A star is massive. Look at how this is like a little meteor or something. A star is massive. I don't think that a star could exist that would crash down into the earth like that or look that small. Look at the picture. Think about how little sense that artwork makes when thinking about the name. It looks like the flavor text was about the image harassment. The visions haunt me. I see the end of the world, brought on by the search for the immortal sun. It's like, it's just the star of extinction, like exterminating a Jew. Like, I just think it's so, like, because a star wouldn't look like that. That's like a fucking, that's like a fucking meteor or something. But like a star is massive. Like it's just, it looks like they're harassing me out of the game is what this was actually about. Anyways, before we, get to this one, like I have to fucking take a piss hell bad, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are at Ixalan's Binding. Card before was Stupid Star of Extinction. Ixalan's Binding. Flavor text and artwork about Jace being lost. The card is about getting rid of something. The propaganda was about getting rid of me. Jace awoke to the certainty that he was lost. Your opponents can't cast spells with the same as exile card. Not a bad card as it is. Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls, and they can't cast the spell again. Not a bad card as a magic card. Not terrible. Demystify. The card number is 08. Jade was probably meant to be close to Jace. The flavor text is about steering people away from the course. Magic was once mine in a way. WOTC harassed me out. This card was harassment about it. A reprint, but with new art and flavor text. The River Heralds carve spells into Jade, hoping to steer us away from our course. But what right do they have to keep us from that which once was ours? Like, it's just about harassment out of the game. And it's card number 8. Come on. Duress. Here's a banger. The printing of Duress had, and this is a reprint, but it's new artwork and new flavor text. The printing of Duress had a dude stranded in a boat. Remember the castaway Jace? He has red hair, just like Rob McKenna, the cover-up loving sellout fake-ass bitch. The time to think flavor text was about being abandoned for so many years. And this is interesting because it's okay. So they're trying to make it like, they're trying to like remind me of Rob McKenna, and they're like, oh, your life sucks because of what you did. It's like, dude, first of all, you're using it as like a political excuse to do other things. You're trying to cover up the racist scandal, and then you're like, you're bribing this company to propagandize people into thinking things happen that didn't happen. Like, you're full of shit. You're a piece of shit. Like, they're scumbags. They're scumbags, dude. And they're trying to make me think like I'm the bad guy. It's like, why are you propagandizing? Why are you harassing me out of a game illegally? Why aren't you just going through a court, being transparent with the people whose tax dollars pay your salaries, and just giving me the punishment there for 2 gross misdemeanors? It's not that much time you get for it. I wouldn't have been tortured for 8 years and like had to waste, first of all, like I wasted 8 months of my life in the WC MBA program. They would have called in favors to make sure I couldn't get into some other MBA program and make those classes I took worthwhile. Still, there was also the months of the second semester that just would have been for nothing. I would have had to do those classes over anyway, but they would have just called in favors to make sure I couldn't get into another MBA program, just like they did with law school. I wasted a year of my life studying for the LSAT, and they just illegally discriminated against me there. I got harassed out of a game that I played for 7 years, and propagandized, and I had to, like, the community got propagandized about me, and I have to fucking fight against these fucking lies, and, like, make people believe the truth instead of this hand-drawn bullshit that they want people to believe when they're not even showing evidence to prove what they're saying. And like, I mean, I've gone through so much. I've been, forced to pay taxes I didn't know. I had a car accident blamed on me I didn't actually cause. I've seen billboard harassment, phone calls, all sorts of shit, mail. I mean, I've seen all sorts of shit. Even the first place I lived, when I moved to Seattle out of my parents' house in 2011, I lived in Greenwood, and they put it wasn't like I was only there for like maybe 2 months, and they put this sign out right in front of the place I was living. It was like one of those houses where it's symmetrical. What do they call it? Like a duplex where it's symmetrical, and there's 2 different zip codes on both sides, and it's like symmetrical. Even the rooms, someone walking by, even the rooms are symmetrical. They had something on, like, they put like one of those crime watch with like a big eye, like for C, right outside the house. Like, they do so much shit. They've done so much shit. And I had to do 60 days, and I had the charges on my record still, and the Western State Mental Hospital shit with a false diagnosis. I've gone through so much. They just attack me so much over those 2 gross misdemeanors, and they pretend they care about justice. First of all, if you care about justice, you care about the process and fairness, you don't care. And like, second of all, why are you so busy covering up a racist scandal and lying to the world and shit? Like, why aren't you trying to expose the neo-Nazis over there if you care about justice? Stop pretending you care about Lady Justice. You slit her throat every chance you get. You're full of shit. Like, I just can't stand these fucking fake people. I just can't stand it. It's like, if you care, you care. If you don't care, you don't care. Don't like try and have one foot in, one foot out, and like be corrupt with the process and just do this secret political shit for so many more years than I ever would have deserved. 2 gross misdemeanors is nothing, and I had to do 60 days over it too. So it's like, I've done 10,000 times more than what my time should have been. And they try and like manipulate me and others into thinking somehow I should feel bad. It's like, you should feel bad, dude. You're a piece of shit. And he fucking knows about neo-Nazis working at a school and never once spoke out about it because he's a piece of shit. And his daughter's a piece of shit too, I'm sure. But he's the main piece of shit. And it's like, it's just funny. Like, they're such bad people. And Wizards of the Coast, for doing this, they're such pieces of shit. They're such pieces of shit. Like, they don't care about justice. They don't care about ethics. That's why they're propagandizing and harassing and doing this illegal bullshit. That is illegal. But I mean, they're doing this illegal bullshit. They probably got bribed and they're pretending to be good people. It's just fucking hilarious. Okay, Castaways Despaired. Castaways Despair. This card is obviously to harass and make me look like I was stranded, sad and alone after the frame. Like Jay's Castaway. Castaways Despair. Better than one. I was hitting on Jawzette and Allie Smith during the same era. It's bullshit that I was trying to side chick Allie. I honestly wasn't. Jawzette was cuter, but this makes... But Jawzette seems like she has a worse personality and is more annoying, which is probably true. Allie had a Facebook picture of herself doubled and mirrored and that I commented on back in the day. That like, two of you, dream come true. And I think the propaganda here is that I was hitting on two cuckoldresses at the same time. It's not true, though. It's honestly not. But other people propagandize that rumor out there. I'm not into any gay or bi shit. People are trying to speak it into truth rather than ever proving it. Like, the card number was 12 and 8. But it's like, that's a good way to put it. I feel like that's what they do, is they try and speak it into truth rather than ever proving it. Okay, I'm sitting here, I'm proving what they're doing. I'm not speaking it into truth, I'm proving it. I'm not just, it's like they just kind of say it so much till they're like, oh yeah, everyone says this. But it's like, you guys are just saying it, you're in a secret Facebook group together. Like Fake Snitching Gang, I've accused publicly for a long time of being in a secret Facebook group that they set up to like dox me and think of how to attack my life. Like, they're saying it, but they're all like conspiring first and like talking with each other and just being shitty. It's like, you're just going around spreading these rumors. You have no proof. You're trying to like speak it into truth. But it's like, you guys are just all together. It's not like separate people think it. It's that you think it and you're just telling everybody that and getting them to say it too, when it's just like you're all working together in a secret Facebook group. So it's just not what you think. Okay. Go to jail. Card number is 8, and I was arrested and put in jail when I was arrested for criminal trespassing, which I was/am innocent of. I was also put in jail for 60 days when charged with harassment and cyberstalking. So it's like I spent, like, I was in jail for 2 months while the MBAs were earning their degrees. You know what I mean? And it's like, I had to go to jail over criminal trespassing, which I never even did. It was an illegal trespass order, and it was an accident anyway that went there. But, like, it was an illegal trespass order. Okay. The propaganda here is that Jace, me, is seeing harassment that causes him to remember pain. Expel from Oraska, a card from that same set, looks suspect, as if I was Jace getting expelled. Jace tumbled down the waterfall and plunged deep into his past. You know what I mean? It's like... It's like he's remembering pain from, you know, seeing harassment that causes to remember pain. And then there's the fucking, I mean, I think, hold on. Is this the same waterfall that Jace is tumbling down, like being like spit out? Notice that expelling would not really match simply bouncing a permanent or putting on top of its owner library. Like, it's like they're so busy trying to propagandize and harass that they can't really link it that well. So it's like, you're just bouncing a non-land permanent or putting it on top of their library. Like, that's not like, it doesn't, like, you're expelling. Like, it's not the same. Okay, Luminous Bonds. I often posted about being a vampire on social media. That's why Jawzette had pictures depicting herself as a vampire. This card, yeah, if you look on her social media account, you'll find it. Unless she takes it down, because she is a cover-up artist who helps neo-Nazis get away with racist scandals, and she keeps racists working at school by doing it, and she doesn't even care. And she pretends to be a good person. Okay, this card was drawn by the same artist that drew Liliana the Veil. The card number is 12. The artwork shows a female bonding a male. The flavor text is about me getting screwed out of magic. Your part in this fight is done, vampire. Get used to your thirst. It's like when you got kind of a bad bitch here, like, I don't know, like bonds, like bondage, dude, vampire, get used to your thirst. I mean, it seems kind of gay. Like, it's like pacifism, but it's like, it just seems kind of like it seems like propaganda, doesn't it? Gruesome fate. This is propaganda. Okay, that doesn't make sense. This propaganda was about the main character in 1984 getting the rat cage on his head at the end of the book. The flavor text makes it seem like they were saying, you tried to sue WC before, and now you don't like WOTC and others harassing you. You were keen enough to sink your fangs into us, vampire, and now you're afraid of a few little nibbles? I mean, even if they're to say, like, the harassment charge, like, dude, like, that's nothing compared to all these years, and it's like, that's a different kind of harassment. That's like a threat. I don't buy what they're saying here. And like, I mean, even if they were to say like my other shit was like annoying, like what I was saying, they were still covering up their shit first. So it's like they were cover up artists to begin with. And if they thought I was annoying or something by not letting them like stop their investigation, like, I mean, they weren't investigating, but I mean, like, not letting them just do nothing, like continuing to contact them and shit. Like, if they didn't like it, they can kiss my ass. Like, they're full of shit. They were just covering up a scandal, then acting like, hey, just shut up. But I mean, it's about the rat cage in 1984, like the rat cage on the dude's head. That's what that's about. And they're trying to make me seem bad. It's like they're just propagandizing, dude. They're just lying.